Yo, what's going on, guys? Joey Shirkenbach is back here with another video for you guys. Guys, sorry for the delay. Had a really busy night last night again, so I'm going to be giving you my game picks for Week 4 of this 2020 NFL season, beginning in a few hours. So let's jump right on into it. Happy Sunday. First game, we have the 2-1 Browns at the 1-2 Cowboys. So, Browns coming off a win against the football team last weekend. Cowboys beat the Falcons 2 weeks ago, and then last weekend they lost. I forget who, but Cowboys are 1-2. They're slumping right now. Still have injury issues. I think Leighton Vander Esch is still hurt, so they're banged up. Offense is still there, but I don't know. Cowboys are worrying me right now. They're only 1-2, and their division should be pretty trash this year, but I don't know. It's something to look at as we go forward. I still think the Cowboys will win the division again because it's so bad. But the Cowboys need to step it up because they're totally underperforming. A lot of people had them going to the Super Bowl this year. They're not playing anywhere near that right now. But this game, the Browns, they're just so inconsistent. And I think going into Dallas, I don't really see Cleveland pulling this one off. I think Dak Prescott may have a better bounce back game against that Browns defense. Again, in Dallas, so I'm going to take the Cowboys here, guys, 27-23. I think it'll be a pretty good game, though. Next game, we have the 2-1 Cardinals at the 1-2 Panthers. Cardinals getting upsetted by the Lions last weekend. That was impressive. Panthers, they really have no one, especially on the defense, because again, Luke Kuechly retired. They have some defensive tackle. Is it Gerald Brown or someone who apparently has done incredibly well? They drafted him, I think. But other than that, they have no one on the defense. Lost James Bradbury, of course. So they essentially have no one. Cardinals, they were off to a great start, but I don't know. Losing to the Lions at home was very suspect last weekend. But they still have the better all-around team. Great offense. Defense is suspect, but it's still much better than the Panthers. It is in Carolina, but I don't see the Panthers winning this game. I think the Cardinals are going to get a bounce-back win. I'm going to take the Cardinals here, guys, 24-17. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to take the Cardinals 31-24 because the defenses are pretty bad. So 31-24 Cardinals. Next game, guys, we have the 1-2 Chargers at the 2-1 Bucks. Chargers, again, 2 weeks ago, almost beating the Chiefs. Last weekend, who did the Chargers play? Gotta be honest, I don't 100% remember. Bucks, 2-1, coming off a win against the Panthers last weekend. They've won 2 in a row. Last week, one of the Saints. They have won back-to-back games, so that's always nice to know. Chargers got the win against the Bengals. But the thing about the Chargers is, again, I forget who they played last weekend, but I feel like all their games have been kind of nail-biters. They've been close. So the Chargers are a battling team. I don't know who's going to start. I think it's still going to be Justin Herbert starting at quarterback. But it's in Tampa Bay. Bucks are hot right now. They have probably the best front seven in the league. I don't see the Chargers going into Tampa Bay and winning this game. I'm going to take the Bucks, guys, 31-17. I don't think it's going to be that close. Next game, we have the 1-2 Jaguars at the 0-2-1 Bengals. Bengals tying the Eagles last week. Jaguars won week 1 against the Colts. Ever since then, they've kind of collapsed. They almost beat the Titans in week 2, but they had a really rough game against Miami in week 3 on Thursday Night Football. They got absolutely manhandled. I think it was only 27-14, but it felt more than that. Bengals, again, 0-2-1. Record is not good, but they are a battling team. All of their games this year have been nail-biters. Really close loss to the Chargers in week 1, really close loss to the Browns in week 2, and a tie to the Eagles last weekend. So the Bengals are a fighting team. They're a little bit better than I thought they would be. I know they're only 0-2-1, but as a team, they're playing better than I thought they will. We'll see if that continues. But I like the way Joe Burrow's looked. The only bad part about them is their defense. Their defense is atrocious, but their offense is kind of nice. A.J. Green, as long as he can stay healthy, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow. Offensive line is just not very good besides Jonah Williams, but they can work with that. Jaguars, again, essentially have no one besides Minshew and Shark. It's in Cincinnati. I'm going to take the Bengals here, guys. 27-17. Oh, and now it's time. Next game, guys, we have the 2-1 Ravens at the 1-2 football team. So, football team, 1-2. Let's see, who have they lost to? I gotta think, like, who have the football team played? Who has the football team played? I don't 100% remember. I think they've played the Eagles, and I'm pretty sure that may have been their win, right? Yeah, I think the football team beat the Eagles, but they've lost their last two. Ravens, of course, won their first two, took a tough loss to Kansas City last week, and it wasn't, or last Monday, I should say. Did not play well again, got totally outplayed, and it wasn't the closest game of all time either. Football team, the biggest issue for them, injuries. Matt Ioannidis is not playing, Chase Young is not playing, I think Terry McLaurin is playing, so that helps, but they are really banged up. Baltimore, at the same time, is not in great shape either. I'm pretty sure Ronnie Stanley's going to be inactive. Maybe no Jimmy Smith, maybe no Anthony Levine. I don't 100% know, but we're not in great shape right now either, but not as bad as the football team. Ravens are really eager to get a bounce back win because they got totally embarrassed at home by the Chiefs last week. And again, I know it was only a 14-point game, but it felt like more because the Chiefs totally dominated. So that we're going to be angry. We're looking for a big bounce-back win. I'm going to take the Ravens here, guys. Even though we're on the road, I think we're the better team. I'm going to take the Ravens. 28-20. Next game, guys, we have the 1-2 Saints at the 1-2 Lions. So the Saints really in a skid right now. Won their first game, but they've lost 2 in a row. Lost to the Raiders and then lost to the Packers last weekend. Lions were off to a really bad start, but then they got a nice upset win against the Cardinals last weekend. So both teams need a win right now. Although the Lions did get a bounce-back win last weekend, they are so inconsistent and usually inconsistent for the worst. Saints are really eager for a win. And they're going to be angry. They're coming back. I don't know if Michael Thomas is playing. That's a wild card. I think he might still be out. But I still think the Saints are by far the better team. So I'm going to take the Saints here, guys, even though they're on the road. Let's go Saints 27-17. Next game, guys, we have the 3-0 Seahawks at the 1-2 Dolphins. So, Seahawks 3-0. Coming up, and now, oh, that reminds me, the Cowboys lost to the Seahawks last weekend. So yeah, Seahawks beat the Cowboys last weekend. They've beaten the Patriots, and who else have they beaten? Patriots, Cowboys. I don't know the other, but the Seahawks are off to a great start. Russell Wilson is playing like the best quarterback in the league right now. That guy is off to an insane start. Dolphins. Lost to the Bills, lost to the Patriots. They did beat the Jaguars, though, so they're coming off a road win against the Jaguars. But I don't think this game's going to be remotely close. I mean, Seattle's by far the better team. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is still the quarterback for the Dolphins. I don't think they've put Tua Tagovailoa in yet, but Seattle is going to totally outplay them here. I'm going to take the Seahawks here, guys, 34-10. I don't think it's going to be remotely close. And, dang, guys, I was really looking forward to this game today. It's been postponed, but we'll do it anyways. We have the 3-0 Steelers at the 3-0 Titans. So as most of you know, Titans had a lot of positive tests for COVID, so their game has been pushed back. It might even get canceled based off of the latest guidance. So there might not be a game at all for this, but we'll pick it anyway. So 3-0 Steelers at the 3-0 Titans. This would actually be a good game because both teams are off to great starts. Both defenses have looked a little suspect. I mean, I know the Steelers, I was all on the hype train for them. I thought they had like the best defense in the league, and I still think they do, but they're kind of off to a rough start. I mean, they almost lost to a backup Broncos team, and Deshaun Watson kind of killed them in last week, too. So their defense has not been as good lately. But at the same time, it's mostly been their pass defense. Their run defense has been excellent, and they have to play... And they're playing the Titans, who are a run team with Derrick Henry, who is not off to a very good start. He kind of started to get it going against the Vikings last weekend, but I still think he's in a skid right now. He always gets off to a slow start. So I think the Steelers were the better team here, and I'm actually cheering for the Titans, believe it or not, but I don't know if A.J. Brown would be back. Since it's in Tennessee, I mean, although it's in Tennessee, I think the Steelers are the better team. Better defense. Quarterbacks are close. Running backs, obviously. Tennessee with Derrick Henry, but the Steelers also have a great offensive line, great protection for Roethlisberger. Receivers are decent. I would take the Steelers here, guys. 24-17. I think it would be a good game, but I would take the Steelers. All right, next game, guys. This is an actual game that's happening. We have the 0-3 Vikings and the 0-3 Texans. So both teams really off to rough starts here. But at the same time, the Texans have had a tough schedule, a really tough schedule. They had to play Kansas City, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore. So the Texans have had a really tough schedule. They're at home here. The Vikings are totally banged up. Deshaun Watson has been a fighter the whole season. I think the Texans are absolutely going to take this one. I don't know what's happening to the Vikings, but they are really skidding right now. It's in Houston. I'm going to take the Texans here, guys. Deshaun Watson will get his first win of the season. The Texans will as a whole. I'm going to take the Texans here. 30-23. Next game, guys, we have the 0-3 Giants at the 2-1 Rams. So, Rams got manhandled in the first half of the last game against the Bills, and then made a miraculous comeback in the end, fell just short, and the Bills won. Alright, guys, we are back here. Sorry, I had a little technology difficulty. So, the game that we were talking about was the 0-3 Giants at the 2-1 Rams. So, Rams, coming off a tough loss to the Bills last week, got manhandled in the first half, made a comeback, but fell just short. Giants, they're just off to a terrible start. They have no one. Saquon Barkley's out for the year. They literally have no one besides, I guess, Sterling Shepard. It's ridiculous. So, Giants have no one. They're on the road. This should be an absolute massacre. It's also, it's in LA. This won't be close. So, I'm going to take the Rams here, guys. 37-13. Next game, guys. This should be a good game. 3-0 Bills at the 2-1 Raiders. So, the Raiders coming off a rather tough loss to the Patriots last weekend. It was 30-16, I believe. Bills, again, manhandled the Rams last week in the first half, almost gave it up, but they hung on to win. Raiders, again, their offense is kind of nice. It's kind of dope. I mean, they got Derek Carr, Henry Ruggs, Josh Jacobs, a solid offensive line, but their defense is atrocious. At the same time, Josh Allen off to a red-hot start, which worries me. But at the same time, Allen has showed signs of not playing well on the road. I know he did play well against the Dolphins on the road, but the Dolphins, it's the Dolphins. And I know the Dolphins on the paper are actually not terrible, but they just never execute, except for the win against the Patriots last year. In Las Vegas, so if this was in Buffalo, it would not be close. The Bills would blow them out. But Derek Carr really plays well at home almost all the time. And seeing him being at home here against the Bills, who always have a great defense. But at the same time, the Bills' defense has been a little suspect so far this year. Almost gave up the game to the Rams last weekend. And the game before, I forget who they played, but the Bills' defense is not off to a great start. It's not as sharp as it usually is. Why? I don't really know. But the Bills' defense has not been great. And they have to play a pretty good offense on the road here. But I still think the Bills are going to take this one. I think they're the better team. Josh Allen, again, off to a red-hot start. He's playing another bad defense. So I'm going to take the Bills here, guys. 27-24. I think it's going to be a very close game, though. Next game, guys, we have the 2-1 Colts at the 3-0 Bears. Bears off to a great start. Again, coming off a comeback win to the Falcons last weekend, because the Falcons, that's their tradition. Dominate the first half, choke in the second half. It's rinse, wash, and repeat. I feel so bad for the Falcons fans out there. It's just, it's so painful. Bears. So yeah, off to a great start. Defense looks excellent. The Bears are really doing well. Colts, let's see. Took a tough loss to the Jaguars in week 1, but ever since then, they've been good. They're 2-1 right now. Defense looks okay. Offense looks okay. Good enough to win anyways. In Chicago, though. And again, with the Bears off to this hot start, I don't see the Colts going into Chicago and winning, especially since the Bears' defense is pretty nice. Offense, again, Mitchell Trubisky got benched last weekend. Foles came in. I don't know who's going to be the starter now. Probably Foles, I would think. At home, I don't see the Colts going into Soldier Field and winning this game. I'm going to take the Bears here, guys. 30-24. It's going to be a pretty good game, but the Bears are the better team here, and they're pretty hot right now. So Bears 30-24. Man, this would have been the game of the week 2-1 Patriots at the 3-0 Chiefs. It did get postponed. Another spike in COVID for the Patriots and the Chiefs. So yeah, this is what I feared about the NFL, man. I was worried that we were going to start running into problems. I don't know. This might be a sign. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's just a couple teams. I'll do it anyways, though. I think they might play on Monday or Tuesday, so we'll pick now to be safe. 2-1 Patriots at the 3-0 Chiefs. So, Patriots. Here's the thing, though. Even if the Patriots do play Monday or Tuesday, Cam Newton will not be active. He was one of the players who tested positive for COVID, so no Cam Newton for the Patriots. And that pretty much ices their chances. I mean, if they even wanted a chance at this, they would need Cam Newton to pop off. Because the Patriots, I think we proved this on Monday when the Chiefs played the Ravens. If you want to beat the Chiefs, at least if you want to slow down is the key words here. That Chiefs offense, you need a dominant front four that can get pressure on Mahomes consistently. The only team that has done that so far is the Chargers, and they have a great front four. Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram, great edge rushers. I don't really know anyone on their interior line, but their front four is very solid and good enough to slow down that offense. That's the only team that's done it so far, though. And again, you can have as good a secondary as you want. The Ravens have probably the best secondary in the league, but it got torched because our front four could not get pressure, and that's a problem. Or we did sometimes get pressure, but we can't set the quarterback. It's so annoying. But regardless, you can have as good a secondary as you want. The Patriots have a top 3 secondary. You can have as good a secondary as you want. It's not going to get it done against the Chiefs offense if you have a bad front four. And the Patriots do not have a good front four. Outside of Lawrence Guy, their front four is trash. Adam Butler's meh. Lawrence Guy's good. Otherwise, they have no one. Even on the front 7. Dante Hightower opted out. No longer have Kyle Van Noy. No longer have Jamie Collins. Their front 7's a huge weakness, and besides Lawrence Guy, they have no one. So that's not going to get it done. So, Chiefs absolutely going to take this one. It's in Kansas City as well. There's no way the Patriots are going to go into Arrowhead and win this game. I know they have Belichick, who's a genius, but it's not going to work. It's not going to get it done. So, in Kansas City, guys, I'm going to take the Chiefs here. 31-17. I think it was going to be closer with Cam Newton. Without Cam Newton, I don't think it's going to be very close. So 31-17 Chiefs. Next game, guys, Sunday Night Football. We have the 0-2-1 Eagles at the 2-1 Niners. So Eagles off to a really rough start. Wentz is just crapping the bed right now. I really don't know why, but he is off to a really, really rough start. Let's see. San Francisco. Just banged up. That's their main issue. They did have a nice win last weekend. Was against the Giants or the Jets? I forget. But the Niners off to a red-hot start. Actually, I shouldn't say that. They're not off to a red-hot start, but they did get a great bounce-back win last weekend. Again, my main issue with the Niners, injuries. Garoppolo's hurt. Mostert's hurt. I don't know if he's playing or not, but of course, they lost Nick Bosa for the year. The Niners' injuries are really a problem right now. No Richard Sherman as well, but they're 2-1. They're 2-1. And the Eagles, I don't know, their defense, it's good, but it's not that good. Fletcher Cox, obviously, is excellent, but they don't really have anyone else that good. I mean, Nigel Bradham's decent. Cravon LeBlanc, I don't know if they still have him, but he's pretty good. But their defense is not great. They do actually, I forgot that. They do have Darius Slay now, though. They traded for him in the offseason. But the Niners, they're a run-first team. And although I don't know if Mostert's playing, but regardless, I do think that the Niners are going to take this one. At home, Eagles just can't get it together. I don't know what their deal is, but the Eagles are really not doing well. Again, in San Francisco, I'm going to take the 49ers here, guys. 23-17. I think it's going to be a little bit lower scoring than people think. Last game, guys, we have the 0-3 Falcons at the 3-0 Packers. So, I think everyone knows that if you look at this on paper, you would think, oh, it's going to be a Packers massacre. But at the same time, the Falcons, they are such a weird team, man, because they can beat good teams, or they can at least get ahead on good teams. Their issue is playing for 4 quarters. They always fall short. They always get, I don't know if it's getting tired or something, but they never execute for 4 quarters. But the Falcons last year beat the Saints like 29-3, beat the Panthers 26-3, then got manhandled by a bad team the next week. They are just the weirdest team. And the Packers, I mean, their offense, Aaron Rodgers off to a red-hot start. So I don't see the Falcons stopping Aaron Rodgers. But the Packers defense, I've always thought their defense is really underrated. It's kind of off to a rough start. The Saints killed them in last weekend. The Vikings, the Vikings actually kind of did well against them too. It was 42-34, a little bit of a shootout. But the Packers defense is not off to a great start. Lions, they did okay. But with it being in Green Bay, I do think the Packers are going to win this one, but it's going to be close because Matt Ryan and that offense, you never know what they're going to do. You never know. They can be on or they can be really off. And it would not shock me if the Falcons had the lead at the half. The Packers have a habit of getting off to a slow start. The Falcons have a habit of getting off to a hot start. But the Falcons also have a habit of totally choking it in the end. So I don't see the Falcons going into Green Bay and winning this game, but I do think it's going to be a closer game than people are saying. I'm going to take the Packers here, guys. I can't go with the Falcons after they choke it essentially every time. I'm going to go with the Packers here, guys. Let's go Green Bay 31-23. I think the Falcons are going to try for a game-winning drive. They're going to fall short. 31-23 Packers. I do think it's going to be a pretty fun game to watch, though. And, guys, that is going to do it for my game picks for Week 4 of the 2020 NFL season. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I am out. Peace out. Have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. Go Ravens. I will see you after the game.